Do you have an update on Wilton yet on his condition?
Yeah, if we were playing a game this week, he wouldn't be able to play, and we'll assess it as we go. But I think somebody asked me, Angelique, somebody asked me what I thought of the play after having seen it now. Thought it was egregious. If I had a stronger word to use, I would use it, but with all the emphasis on protecting defenseless players, and it appeared that the player knew what he was doing, targeted the head and neck area when the player was on the ground, and accelerated into it. Surprisingly, you have two officials standing back there that are both looking at it, plus a review in the press box that that wasn't that wasn't a targeting, that wasn't a personal foul.
Is that something that you contact Big Ten about? I mean, there were other hits in that game too.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, those. There will be. We'll contact them, and.
I mean, what do you get? I mean, when you do contact,
you get a piece of paper back that says they agree or disagree and has a short explanation.
So it doesn't really solve it.
Yeah, just, I mean, all the emphasis has been placed on, the safety of the game, et cetera. I think needs to be addressed, needs to be answered. And the other thing, in a very good, spirited way, we are going to look at everything we can do for the visiting team here at the University of Michigan as it relates to a standard of care for the visitors on multiple levels. But it's become apparent after going around to all the the visiting schools in the last couple of years that a conscious effort of gamesmanship that is unsportsmanlike. When you have locker rooms that are too small, they're not heated or cooled properly. In this case, there's no air conditioning. Such a tight, cramped environment. We have to open the doors to get some kind of ventilation going in a very small area. People walking by, they're watching you dress. Number of urinals or bathrooms for the players and staff. I think there was 2. There's not even a private door around it, and then mainly the health and safety of the players. Very, very small space for a training room that had nothing in it. This is no different than the facility I think I saw when I was there in 1986, and I'm not putting this on Purdue. This is league-wide. It needs to be addressed by the league, needs to be addressed by the commissioner, and we're going to lead the way. We're going to look at what we have, but there needs to be a way to X-ray a player at the stadium. There has to be a minimum standard of care for the players. Again, we put a lot of emphasis into health and safety of the players, but it doesn't even seem sanitary. You were all in there. We've already talked about the heat, and it seems to be a conscious effort to gamesmanship, get an advantage over the opponent. And I wish I'd have taken a picture of the actual table that is given to the visitors to put the players on when they're injured. I mean, it looks like it's from the 20s. It was ripped. It's just not good. And I think that's a pattern in the Big Ten. I asked Don Brown, did you see the same thing in the ACC? Not to this extent. Did not see it to this extent in the Pac-12 when we coached there. And you could keep going on, injured players that can't get an X-ray, taken to a student health center in a van, and we needed a brace for a player, and there wasn't one at the facility we were taken to. There was a lot of things that needs to be addressed, and talked to Ward about it, and you know, I would ask that the rest of the Big Ten coaches look into this as well, and make this a priority, because this is we're talking about all of our players here, and we'll start first with us, and make sure that you have guests, you have visitors that are coming in that you know, their health and safety needs are being addressed.
Did you put the starters on a bus before the game, in an air-conditioned bus?
I said they had the option to go in there, yeah, because as I said, it was so cramped, it was so hot, it was like a hot box, and really the only way to get relief was to open the doors. Again, you have people watching you dress. It's not good. It's not good, and I've seen this at other facilities in the Big Ten. It needs to be addressed by the commissioner, and I would hope that they would look into it immediately. Hope that it does some good.
Move to the left, Dan.
I don't know if you can go into more detail than you just did about that, but what is the next step? How quickly do you hope teams can turn that around, and what efforts, when you say Michigan leading the way, what type of things are you hoping to do?
Look at our visitor locker room, our facilities there, and I know it's 2017. We should all be able to. I know we provide a floral X-ray, but you know, what else can be done? X-ray machines in the stadium, enough space, hot water. I think we do provide that. Multiple bathroom facilities that somebody can be in, and they're sanitary and it's clean. But you know, what else can we do to make? We've got to make sure that ours is good as well, and come up with a whole procedure protocol of what the standards should look like, and then hope that all the teams follow.
Back right at it.
A request that they do. You know, together we should be able to do this, and I urge my fellow coaches to weigh in as well and get their thoughts. I mean, I think it's something we can all agree on, that it is 2017. It's not the 30s, it's not the 40s, it's not the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s. There's been advancements, and you know, it needs to. Our stadiums need to reflect that. You know, visiting locker rooms need to reflect that. Gamesmanship should cease at the line, the point of health and safety for the players.
Jim, switching gears a little bit, obviously a bye week good for Wilton to rest up, but given the way that the offense was clicking, especially in the second half, it looked probably as best as it had all year. Is there ever a bad time for a bye week in terms of momentum? Would it be almost, I guess, better for you guys to play this weekend? You know what I mean? Like, instead of having this break, momentum-wise, does it throw anything off?
Which we treat it as an improvement week. So we'll be looking for improvement. Better today than yesterday. Better tomorrow than today. See if we can't get a mile an hour faster. See if we can't get 1% better. Maybe 4% better. Maybe 0.01% better. But we'll be looking for improvements.
For John, though, saying maybe if Bolton can't go for John, though, as a quarterback, what does that do? I mean, he's coming off one of the best games of his career. I imagine he's probably itching to get back on the field, and then, you know, with the bye week, does that throw a quarterback off it in any way?
Same for John. We're looking for it as an improvement week, and all the players on our team. Starters, backups, contributors, reserves, the very, very young players that haven't played yet. entire team, coaching staff. All of us will attack it with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
You will not be able to play this week if you had a game. How have you talked to him? How's he doing? How's he taking the last couple of days?
He's a very tough guy. I mean, he is very, very hopeful he'll be back soon.
What are your thoughts on night games? Do you have a preference for kickoff or home game?
Yeah, I prefer they're kicked off at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
Why is that? What feels better?
It most appeals to my football sensibility. Yeah. Just a personal thought there. Definitely not Fridays, not Thursdays, not Wednesdays, Tuesdays or Mondays, or Sundays in college football, but Saturday. Prefer the 1 o'clock kickoff, but understand that there's 3:30 kickoffs, there's 4 o'clock kickoffs, there's 7:30 kickoffs, etc. So we'll get ourselves prepared.
And you mentioned we were talking adjustments after the game. You mentioned you guys did a lot more, play action stuff with John, and it seemed to get him going. His overall, vision, it looked like he really knew where he was going with the ball, right away. I mean, when you look back at it, much tape again, what did you see from John just overall there, especially in the second half when things really kind of took off for him?
Yeah, that was my impression coming out of the game. Was John was seeing things very well from the moment he went into the game, and thought that was the case the entire game. Very good with his mechanics, and rhythm was good. Seeing things very well.
Talk about the courage plays. He stood in there too, and stepped into some throws. You see some of those on there for him.
Yeah, he played a very good ball game in all respects.
The back left, Chris.
Coach, how would you assess the O-line play and then some of the protections? How much of that was on the O-line and how much of it was on the backs when you had some breakdowns there?
No, I'm not going to go into who had more breakdowns, but yeah, there was a few times we got beat, and that's something that we're going to work on, as always.
Since you kind of went into the hit with Hilton, I think you said it was a soft tissue injury over the weekend. Is that still the way you guys are diagnosing it, and what part of the body is he handling him?
To think back to 2 weeks ago, I think we had a similar press conference. I'll refer you back to that answer at that time.
Max, do you have a question?
Yeah. You talked a lot in the past about football as a bastion of toughness and manliness, and you did after this game. As you guys kind of take the lead on, improvements for visitors' locker, how do you what message do you want to send to your players about how those two things might or might not be related? Toughness and having a kind of sanitized locker room, stuff like that, and having to play through that versus creating an environment where that's not maybe necessary.
Where it's not necessary, I'm not following. I'm gonna fight for our players and the other players, the student athletes around the conference.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about toughness and nothing makes you feel more like a man than to going in and beating the elements. I mean, you have that view, and you also want to create an environment for the visitors where they don't maybe have to fight.
Do you disagree with the?
No, certainly not.
There should be. I was just saying there should be minimum standard of care, for the health and safety. Yeah.
About what is.
Yeah, the message is I'm gonna the clear message. I think it's on us as leaders as coaches, athletic directors, commissioners of conferences to address it. Plain and simple.
Last question over here.
But I will say, as far as our players are concerned, when you turn on the film in the ball game, there's nothing that would suggest with their play that it was a hot day. They played all out. They played fast. They played really physical. and a point especially to Chase Winovich, Rashawn Gary, Mo Hurst, Devin Bush, a secondary that is quietly doing a heck of a job with very little fanfare or self-promotion. But Lavert Hill is playing extremely well. So is David Long, Tyree Cannell as well, missed a tackle or two. Josh Medalis also playing very physical and doing a heck of a job. Chase Winovich, there's some Rashawn Gary plays that are physical. We talk about his athleticism and we talk about his speed. You've all mentioned that. Turn on play 17. Turn on a few other ones where it's about as physical a play as you're going to see from anybody on a football field. Chase is playing like J.J. Watt. I thought he had his best game ever as a football player. There's a play. I don't exactly know which play it was, number-wise, but they had thrown the ball to the tight end. He was mauling us on the sideline. Went through 2 or 3 tacklers. Chase had been on the rush of the quarterback, turned and went and made the tackle. Kept the tight end out of the end zone. He would have got into the end zone, but the ground he covered to get there, first rushing the quarterback and then turning and making the tackle, kept him out of the end zone. We ended up holding him to a field goal at that point. Really noteworthy. Mo Hurst is really, really tough to block. Quite impressive. So yes, they did overcome the elements, as both teams had to out on the field. But I'm not conflating the two. It was very impressive. When you turn on the film, it did not look like it was a hot day, the way our guys were hustling and playing football.
I guess I just mean, I think it's significant that you're kind of leading this effort, given someone who has that view. I'm curious, at what point was it that you really started to notice that as, gamesmanship, I guess is what
I think some of you probably might have noticed the same thing. I think we all kind of noticed it together. At that point,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that we all noticed it.
Yeah. But you've noticed it around the conference. Was there, was it early on, as soon as you got here?
No, at this point. Are we good with this? I think we plowed that question about as thoroughly as we can, over the course of the time that I've been here.
Sure.
All right, last question, Rachel.
The running backs have been very productive so far this season. How would you evaluate Jay Harbaugh's job working with them so far?
I think our coaches, all of them, are doing an outstanding job. Each and every one of them. I think Jay's doing a good job. Special teams, he and Chris are doing a spectacular job there. Thought we did a very good job in this ball game. There was who won it or who lost it. It was pretty even. But nice to see Brad Robbins go in and have a competent game and really perform well as a first-time player. First time he's seen the field. Thought that was great. Thought there was a lot of good. As long as Don Brown's good, I'm good. You want to know how?
Angelique.
I don't know what my happiness is or my mood is like. Don Brown's mood's good, I'm good. Yeah.
Angelique wanted to ask you one more.
More Don Brown. More Don.
On Tariq, is there any update on whether he could return this season?
Not quite yet, yeah.
Okay.
There's
You don't know.
it's going to be a process and how things heal,
Okay.
How those cracks, fractures heal. I'm not a medical doctor, but I know it takes some time to get sticky and.
You're not ruling him out.
Yeah.
It's a no after surgery thing anymore.
Yeah, you Google stuff like that. It takes bones. How long does it take to? I'd refer you to that. Or to a medical doctor. Certified, board certified, trained medical doctor, which is not me. No.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.